welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Christine, sorry, and this is It's Just Christine. Today I'm going to be doing something different. I'm actually going to be planning on my B6. This one is from Estelle. I'll leave a link down below. I'm not 100% sure if she still has the exact same one. This is I believe the name of this planner is Anchorage, Alaska. I know she has a bunch of new B6 Cloud, but this is actually one of her original ones, the first ones that she came out, and it's just the regular B6 wide. The inserts that I have here, I believe is from Justina Printable, so I printed them out and cut them myself and put them in here. So for this planner, I actually plan the books that I read, keep track of the books that I read and reviews that I write for them. But yeah, so that's basically the only thing that I have in this planner. So for this plan with me, the way that I'm thinking of doing is, while I'm doing the memory spread, I'm actually going to be talking about like 1 or 2 books that I've read for that week. So it's going to be somewhat of a plan with me and also a book review. So if you are interested in something like that, please stay tuned. Oh, let me talk about the kit. So the kit I'm actually going to be planning with is this one from Right Rose Printables. I actually just hauled this. I think the previous haul that I just did. And yeah, so she's a printable shop, and I bought a bunch of her printables, like kits, when she went on sale, when she had a sale. And these are the full boxes. The bottom washi, date covers, and weekend banner. These are the half boxes, quarter boxes, and square boxes. The glitter headers, script headers, solid washi strips. More half boxes and quarter boxes, but these ones are actually with the rounded corners. And finally, her scripts, movie marquees, and icons. I don't really use the whole entire kit for this, so this is the reason why most of the time I'm going to be using printable kits for this planner. Or if I have leftovers from like a previous kit that I've used, I'll also use it in this planner. Also, I tend to use a lot more washi in this when I do my memory spread. So for this kit and this memory plan with me, I'm going to be using this Galaxy washi from Simply Gilded. I don't really remember which Galaxy this is, but it is in hollow foil, and it's in it's like an ombre of like blue and light pink. I'll leave a link to all the things that I do use. And if you have any questions regarding things that I do use during the plan with me, just leave me a question down below and I will be happy to answer them for you. All right? So like I said, if you are interested in this, please stay tuned. Okay, so for this memory plan with me, I'm going to be planning from the week of April 19 to April 25. So for this week, I actually just read one book, and it's called Deathless Divide by Justina, Ireland. It was a pretty interesting book. It's actually about zombies during the American Civil War, I guess. But yeah, it's actually the second book to the series. So sorry, not series, it's actually just a duology. So there was only 2 books in that whole series, which was fine with me because I think the author did a really great job in writing the book and actually making us love the characters in the book. I'm not really gonna go into details on the second book, which is the actual book that I read for that week. I'm most likely going to be talking more about the first book and then just touching base on what my thoughts were on the second book. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you guys because I know a lot of people don't like spoilers. Not like me. I tend to read books and want to know the ending before I proceed. Yeah, I know, I'm awful. I don't mind spoilers because it doesn't really spoil me from reading a certain book just because I know the ending. However, for like mystery novels is a different story. I'd prefer to kind of guess my own, like, you know, like my own, like basically who's done it. But yeah, so the first book in the duology is called, oh my gosh, I just literally had it on like the tip of my head, but I most likely like have a link down below on the books and maybe a link to my book review. I do have a blog that I write my reviews in. It's nothing, you know, like it's nothing fancy. It's just so that I can keep track of like books that I read and also have some kind of like, you know, book review for them. Just, you know, for fun. But yeah. Dread Nation, I believe that's what it's called. So basically, yeah, I think that's what the first book is called. But anyways, the first book, I believe I gave a 4 out of 5 stars on that because I really did enjoy reading it. I loved everything about it. I've been really into historical fiction for quite some time now, but I did read the first book in this series probably 2 years ago, and then I just picked up this sequel in April. And to be honest, I equally loved both books. Usually the first would always surpass the second. But for me, in this case, I actually liked both books equally. I feel like they actually touched up on different points, but at the same time using the same characters. So I think Justina did a great job in creating the storyline for both books, where it's like 2 different storyline, but at the same time it's continuous. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah, that's my take on it. I think that's why for me it worked, because it didn't feel like I was reading 2 of the same book and with just different, like, you know, like different way of telling the story. But yeah, so like I said, it is a zombie apocalyptic book, but it was set in like 1700s America during the Civil War or 1800s. it's funny because I actually finished, like, I graduated university. Like, I actually graduated history. Like, I got my bachelor's of arts in history, and yet I'm really, really awful in, like, remembering American history. Mind you, though, my major was more on Renaissance Italy than American or Canadian history. But yeah, so this novel was set in that, and this is like when African Americans were still slaves, and they were basically the ones who were fighting the zombies. And then we meet this girl who is actually our heroine, and her name is Jane. She is in a boarding school where girls are being trained to fight zombies, and it's mostly, actually it's all African American girls, because that's basically what they were being used for, is to fight the zombie apocalypse. But what I really enjoyed about this book was that Jane was very headstrong, and it's not so much as that she was rebellious, but she just did her own thing. Like, whatever she thought was right, that's what she would do. And she didn't really want it to conform to what society thought of her. And basically her main goal in this whole book was to obviously defeat the zombies, and at the same time also find her mom, who's traveled to a different state. And what I didn't also mention is that Jane is actually half, African American and half white. So not only was she an outcast with African American people, but also with the Americans, because of her skin color. So yeah. And basically she was taught in the school. I totally forgot the name of the school too. I should have planned this a little bit better. But anyways. But yeah, it was just an amazing read, because it's a movement. Like, it was kind of like a rights movement with a fantastical, like, horror type of novel. And not only do you read this fiction novel, but it also kind of teaches you how people were treated back then just because of their skin tone, or like their skin color. And Jane went through all that. She had to go through with being judged because, one, she's, black, two, she's a girl, and basically she didn't want to conform. Like I said, like, she didn't want to get married, she didn't want to settle, she didn't want to do all these things that regular people wanted to do. Another main character was that's going to be vital to the story is Catherine, who is like the polar opposite of Jane, and she is basically one of those kids who are like goody two shoes, and they just want to make everybody happy. Well, not everybody, like teachers happy. They always go by the rules, and they just like the perfect model student. And which is, you know, Jane is like the polar opposite. So basically, but the main focus obviously was Jane. She was the point of view when we're reading this novel. And we see everything through her eyes. So we get this point of view where Catherine, or how she calls her Kate, is trying to kind of like sabotage her life. And how Kate is trying to be this like goody when really in reality she's not, or that's what Jane is trying to prove. I'm gonna use this one for Monday because of the cup. I tried to use ones with like full boxes with cups on Monday for Coffee Monday, even though I don't drink coffee. But anyways, yeah, so the two characters that we are introduced to are, you know, actually there's a lot of characters that we're introduced to in the first novel, which is also present on the second novel. And I can't really go into too much details on the second novel because, like I said, I don't really want to give anything away. But I do have to tell you that Kate and Jane does become friends in the end. And Kate is not what she seems in the beginning. And you eventually get to like her. And for me, I find that Kate actually, she ends up being just as a fighter as Jane is. But she fights her own battles her own way. So it's not always about, you know, like killing people and saying no to everything and being like basically the black sheep of the group, which is like what Jane has become in the second novel. She's not bad. It's just she has to go through all these obstacles that kind of make her into a tougher person. Whereas Jane, she still kind of holds her, like, believes that God will always provide, and, you know, she always maintains her southern charms. And yeah, because I believe she's from Kansas. Don't quote me on that one. I really don't remember. I'm really horrible remembering smaller details of a novel. But yeah. And yeah, like the first novel, Red Nation, it really focuses more on like the zombie apocalypse and how things started the way it started, or how people became sick, and basically the movement of like African Americans kind of fighting back for their freedom and fighting back to, you know, that they are the same people as white people are. So that is the predominant storyline in that novel. Whereas the second novel, it talks more about Jane's development and Kate's development and their overall friendship. And it's really interesting because, like I said, they're like polar opposites, and yet they rely on each other to kind of be grounded. Basically, Jane needs Catherine because she kind of keeps her sanity in place, whereas Kate needs Jane because Jane kind of keeps her grounded into not being so fearful or like not being herself. So I think that's one of the good things about the novel. If you're really into that like strong female heroine type of novels and like a good female on female friendship, this I think is like one of those books that you would really enjoy. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed both books very much, and I will totally definitely read more of Justina Ireland's novels if she does come out with more. But yeah, it's definitely 5 stars for me all around. And if I have to reread this novel, or like if I want to reread this novel, I think I would, because it's just one of those novels, like if you read it more than once, I'm pretty sure you're gonna find more things that's different the first time. Yeah, so romantic relationship is not really the main focus point of the 2 books, which is good. Like, I enjoyed it the way it was, that the author didn't find it important to include the that, and just really focused on the friendship of the 2 girls. At one point I did get a little bit confused about the whole zombie apocalypse thing at the second book, the second novel, because I was so focused on Jane's journey and Kate's journey that I kind of blanked out on some parts of it, that it just made me kind of be like, what happened? But eventually you kind of get to figure it out, and you know, as you read it, you get to understand where everything is headed. But yeah, so I definitely highly recommend that novel, and it's something that I wish I would have read sooner. Not just sooner, but like something that I have read like back to back. That way I didn't forget anything from the first book. But I think the Justina does a really good job of kind of like doing a mini recap that kind of jogs your memory as to what happened from the first book, and allows you to kind of have an inclination of what's going to happen, or like what is a reason to the things that's going on from book 1 to book 2. Yeah, sorry, I'm just putting down some other things just to help out with the spacing and stuff like that. Okay, so I didn't mention this before, but I'm also going to be using this overlays from Rose Colored Daze, and I think it's just going to help give some kind of like hollow shyness to the full boxes. Okay, yeah, so if you're interested in the novel, I don't know if I mentioned it, it's also a YA novel. If you're interested, I am going to be leaving a link down below on the good, I just ripped it, on the Goodreads link, or even I'll leave a link down below about the book that I just read, or I read for that week, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as I did if you do get to read it. If you do get to read it and you have your, you know, like if you have opinions, let me know. Or if you have read it and enjoyed it as much as I did or didn't, let me know, like why you didn't like the novel. I think the rating for it is around 4.3, which is a pretty good rating. And I can see why a lot of people enjoyed it. And yeah. So I promise on my second book review plan with me, I'll be a little bit more prepared and probably have some kind of, you know, notes and information on the books. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this plan with me, please don't forget to hit the like button, and you know, if you want more of these contents, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.